Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, January 17th, 2022. This is the second hearing for the month of the City of Tempe Hearing Officer. My name's Vanessa McDonald. I am the hearing officer, so I'll be conducting this meeting. I'm going to read something into the record, and then we can go ahead and jump into our agenda this afternoon. The City of Tempe Hearing Officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out the provisions and the intent of the Zoning and Development Code and the Tempe City Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the city. These violations include, but aren't limited to, deteriorated landscaping, inoperable or unregistered vehicles, deteriorated structures, storage of junk or refuse, or deteriorated swimming pools. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after numerous attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain their voluntary compliance with the code. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, rental agent, property manager, or other responsible person to remediate a code violation or authorize the city to abate the property. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurred and will be collected as an assessment against the property found to be in violation. On today's agenda, we have three items. We have a set of minutes from January 3rd, 2023, and two property abatements. I also want to make note of the fact that any property owner who is aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on January 31st, 2023. Appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment, after which they also may be appealed to the Superior Court. A property owner has 14 days to either file an appeal or bring the property into code compliance within this 14-day window. If neither of these things happen by the date that I said previously, January 31st, the property will be abated by the city. To make a couple of introductions, joining me today from Community Development are, to my left, Cassidy Hernandez and Drew Yoakum. Thank you guys for being here. As I mentioned previously, we have a set of minutes from January 3rd, 2023. Cassidy provided those to me last week after our hearing, and I think they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the minutes from January 3rd, 2023. Agenda item number 2 is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the McDonald property. No relation, even though the spelling is exactly the same. This property is located at 2111 North Van Ness Avenue. The applicant is the City of Tempe. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Andres Lara Reyes. I'm a Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. And I'm here this evening to request an 180-day open abatement at the property located at 2111 North Van Ness Avenue, Tempe, Arizona, 85281. This case was initiated back on October 3rd, 2022, with junk and debris over high grass and weeds in the front and the back of the property. This is a public complaint. I have had communication with the property owner since October 3rd, 2022. I have also contacted CARE 7 several times in their office, and they had had several contacts with the owner, Joey McDonald. I hand delivered the first notice to comply to the owner on October 4th, 2022, and I explained the guidelines to her regarding the property violations, and I asked her to make herself available to CARE 7. I hand deliver a final notice to comply on October 26, 2022, since there were no improvements made to the property to bring it into compliance. I inspected the property on November 9, 2022, and there have been no improvements or changes to bring the property into compliance. So I reviewed the case with the Code Compliance Office, and indicated to them that it was not a good idea to issue a citation at this time because the owner had no running water. So I was advised to file for abatement on the property. So there were no citations issued for this property because of that.
Okay. Is it occupied?
It's occupied.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe she resides in the porch area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Was Care 7 able to do anything for her?
They tried several times, but she hasn't cooperated fully.
Because it takes her cooperation, right?
Even
Yeah.
to file for a what is called emergency abatement, she did not sign for that. So
Okay.
we're hoping that she did, but she didn't.
Okay, thank you.
I did receive a message from the owner on December 30th, 2022, and she stated that she was meeting with Care 7 and other agencies in that week, but nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, and as of this morning, this is the condition of the property. The top left-hand corner is the front porch, which is full of trash and debris, trash bags and stuff. The rest is the backyard area for the trash, litter, debris, over high grass and weeds. No changes or improvements have been made since October 3rd, 2022. And as stated before, I'm seeking a 180-day open abatement for trash, litter, and debris, and over high grass and weeds.
Okay, thank you, and I'll make note of the fact, the pictures I have in my packet are from December 7th. So compared to today, the property's only gotten worse and
Yes.
not better. Well, thank you. Mr. Yocum, is anyone on the line wanting to speak on this agenda item?
No, Madam Hearing Officer. I would like to make just one additional comment.
Okay.
Our office has been in constant communication with Care 7,
Okay.
and it was actually their recommendation that we move forward with the process today.
Oh, good to know. Great, thank you. There's no member of the public here this afternoon. I want to note for the record, wanting to speak on this agenda. The chamber just contains City of Tempe staff. So given the fact that there's no one here wanting to speak, the property owner's not here, I agree with your assessment. The photographs speak for themselves. The property's gotten worse ever since he started this case, not better. So I am going to go ahead and approve the 180-day open abatement request contained in case CE 225852. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3 is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Moore property. This property is located at 438 West Hermosa Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Hearing Officer Ms. McDonald. My name is Hector Heredia. I'm a code inspector with the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. I'm here this evening to request a 180-day open abatement for the property located at 438 West Hermosa Drive within the City of Tempe's jurisdiction, 85282. This case was initiated back in August 30th to be exact, anonymously by anonymous complaint 2022 for junk, trash, debris, including a deteriorated landscaping, which encompass overhigh grass and weeds, dead palm fronds, dead tree limbs, and also bad odors throughout the entire property. Since the case was initiated, several anonymous complaints have been filed regarding the deteriorated state of the location. And due to the lack of communication with the property owner, corrective action, and citation, I am here requesting the abatement approval. As stated before, this case was initiated by an anonymous resident, on 8/30/2022. Code compliance received the concern regarding junk, trash, debris, bad odors, deteriorated landscaping across the entire property back to front. These concerns were verified and a first notice was mailed to the property owner. An extension period was given in that first notice, and on 9/13/2022, at the second inspection, no corrective action had taken place, nor communication initiated by the property owner. So a final notice was issued and mailed to the property owner. Roughly 14 days later, an extension was provided via door hanger as a final attempt before citation would be issued, based on the notion that no corrective action had taken place nor communication initiated. So a short time after that, on 10/11/2022, a first citation was issued after the property could not be brought into compliance nor communication initiated. Roughly about a month later, on 11/14/2022, the citation defaulted after the property owner failed to show up in city court and also exhausting the appeal period where she could have contested the defaulted citation but did not. Shortly after that, approximately a month, on 12/13/2022, after multiple failed attempts to reach the property owner, the abatement packet was turned in for the January 17th to 9th, 2023 hearing officer. So at this point, I would like to request the approval of the abatement for 180-day open period at the location 438 West Hermosa Drive within the jurisdiction of the city of Tempe, 85282. At this point, I'd like to present photos that were taken approximately at between 10 and 10:30 this morning, confirming our concerns and ongoing issues. You can see here that this is a frontal photo of the property off of Hermosa facing the front yard, where you could clearly see that a deteriorated landscaping has continued to grow, although maintained to a minor degree, not regularly maintained by the property owner. The second photo is of the other half, or the second half of the property facing Hermosa, where you could see the carport is deteriorated, having numerous boxes, bags, cans, a deteriorated city trash bin, boxes, throughout the entire front yard that can be seen from public access. This is a close-up photo of the backyard where a palm tree has grown and not maintained or pruned or trimmed. This is opposite that tree, where you can see here in the center the deteriorated, dying, dead tree limbs, as well as overgrown grass throughout the middle portion of the photo, as well as some deteriorated cactus and some other junk trash debris, deteriorated scrap wood, used to be a fence, so metal as well. And over here, you can see that there are other aluminum portions of roofing, paneling, plastic tubing.
Right.
And finally, this photo is an overview of the entire backyard. Although a little bit distorted, you can see that the palm tree here is in some sort of distress, being unmaintained, as well as the dead tree in the center of the yard and the overhang grass and weeds throughout the entire backyard portion, with sprinkles of junk trash debris across the plane as well.
And this property is enclosed with a chain link fence, correct?
Yes, it is enclosed with the chain link fence. It is deteriorated,
Right.
but only on the upper portion of it, not entirely. So,
Okay. But we don't see it that often, but that just kind of exacerbates the problems back there, is that they're open for everyone to see. So,
it invites people to come in, being that the fence is deteriorated and can easily be stepped over or hopped. But,
right.
Yes.
Is the home occupied?
The home is not occupied, and there's only been one instance where communication was initiated by the property owner in a previous case. Since then, that has not taken place.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Yocum, is there anyone on the line wanting to speak about this agenda item?
No, Madam Hearing Officer.
Okay, thank you. And again, for the record, I'll note that there's no one here in the chamber wanting to speak on this agenda item. So, Mr. Heredia, I do agree with your assessment. I agree with the photographs that provide the clearest evidence. Thank you for taking those this morning. So I'm going to approve for you did ask for 180 days?
Yes, excuse me. At this point, I would like to finalize my presentation with
Oh,
asking
okay.
for the approval of the 100 and open abatement period for the property 438
Okay.
West Hermosa.
Thank you. I jumped the gun, I guess.
Sorry
Sorry
about
about that. So as I was saying, I agree with your assessment. I think the 180 days is appropriate. So I'm going to go ahead and approve case CE 225066 for the property located at 438 West Hermosa Drive.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thanks, you too. That concludes our agenda for this evening. Mr. Yocum, do we have announcements?
Yes, just the one. Our next scheduled hearing officer meeting is set for Tuesday, February 7th at 5 p.m. That's here in the Tempe City Council chambers, as well as live on Tempe 11.
Okay, great. Thank you. That being the conclusion of our agenda, we're adjourned. Thanks a lot.